think it's time we blow this scene. Get everybody in the stuff together. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's jam.
Holy fucking shit. We got Leonard Pinillo.
Hello.
Yo, welcome to Art is Alive.
Yeah.
What's up, man? How you feeling?
A little nervous. It's the first time.
I know, but again, this shit isn't for great.
Yeah.
We're just cooling. So, Leo, I wanted to start off with today's topic, which is I was talking a lot about mental health and relationships and all that, and I kind of want to pull back for this episode and just kind of be more casual and chill.
Mm-hmm.
And the topic of today, video games, because that has been, for me personally, and I'm sure you could agree to this, an integral part of my childhood, my teenagehood, leaking into my adulthood, and even as I'm getting older and I don't have as much time to play video games and all that, it's still like, I still fucking love it. I still love pulling up to your house and just like,
We shoot the shit and play video games.
yeah, like it's a bonding force.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask, how did you get started, and what was your introduction to video games, bro?
My introduction started when I was like, I want to say 3, 4, still living in New Jersey.
Shout out to Jersey.
Yeah, New Jersey. It was actually my aunt's boyfriend at the time who wanted to gift us a PlayStation 2 for our birthday, and my mom was totally against it. She never wanted us to get into video games, but you know, that one PlayStation 2 turned into everything we have now. PC, PS, I mean, everything's coming out on PC now.
Yeah.
But then that just spiraled into everything I have now.
So we were talking earlier, I remember, about like the best video game soundtracks, and I was like back and forth in my head, and I was like, fuck, is it the Sonic soundtrack? Is it the Kingdom Hearts soundtrack? Is it Final Fantasy? Is it Pokemon? I think I'm gonna be basic as fuck, and I think I'm gonna say the best gaming soundtrack is Pokemon. And what are your thoughts on the best gaming soundtrack?
For me, it depends, because different soundtracks for me invoke different emotions. Like when it's Sonic, you're hyped as hell. You want to push that weight at the gym, or you're just excited to do whatever it is. But like when I was playing through the Nier soundtrack, that shit moved me to tears.
Nier! Oh my
bro.
god, I remember Nier. Damn it. The amusement park?
The amusement park. In the first Nier game, there's like a melody that you hear every so often from the twins Devila and Popola that just really hit close to home. It's so good.
Damn.
But like that soundtrack legit moved me to tears. A new one that came out recently, Stellar Blade, which is very similar to Nier in terms of its soundtrack, was also really nice and refreshing. So
Was that the one that me and Matthew and all of us were playing?
yep, that's the one.
Damn.
It has a really good soundtrack.
I need to listen to it.
I would recommend it. It's on Spotify. A lot of they're putting out a lot of their music on Spotify.
Remember, I'm a YouTube music girly.
You can find it there, I'm sure, on all streaming platforms. But if I had to pick one, I would have to agree with the Sonic soundtrack, only because there is a lot of different options out
Well,
there.
I chose Pokemon over Sonic.
Or,
but,
yeah.
But you would say Sonic?
I would say Sonic, yeah.
For the best soundtrack out of any game series.
It's just there's a lot to pick from there. You got Live and Learn, you got the classics, Chemical Plant,
The Knuckles raps from
Knuckle
Sonic
Rap,
Adventure Battle 2.
Flying Battery.
Oh my fucking god, I forgot about Tekken and fucking Capcom versus SNK. Fuck!
Those games have also really good soundtracks.
Tekken Tag Tournament 2.
Tekken Tag, MVC2 also has a
MVC2,
really
the
good
Swamp
soundtrack.
Stage.
But like those are all just hype, you know. But for me, like one that has a lot more meaning would be the Sonic soundtrack. You know, playing through the storybook series as a kid and just experiencing like Night of the Wind.
Did you ever play the Sonic Mega Collection on PS2?
I didn't play it on PS2, but I played it on GameCube.
The game select screen where it's like that.
Yeah.
That
I would
calming.
sit there for hours. I
Yeah.
would let that run in the background. I think the last time I played the Mega Collection was like a couple of years ago, say like 4 or 5 years ago. And just going through the gallery and like the comics while listening to that music in the background.
The comics!
Hits,
Holy
man.
shit! Dude, I used to have a fuck ton of Archie Sonic comics.
I'm sad I never got to read the Archie comics.
I have issue 1 if you want to.
Yes, please.
Okay, yeah.
I really do want to start reading up on those because there's like some major Sonic lore and like a lot of drama in there with I can't remember the dude's name. They keep saying that he bastardized some of those characters or something. I can't remember.
I don't keep up with the Sonic Archie lore.
Like
That's a whole can of worms that I'm.
Yeah, it's the whole mess.
I like me comic books, but the OG Archie Sonics hold a special place in my heart because in addition to like just regular issues of it, I had like a thick ass mega collection of the first couple issues, and I'm trying to actually lock down on finding them in the wild or at like comic conventions. So I'm like, fuck.
Hell yeah.
Those bitches are pricey though.
I can only imagine. I'm glad I didn't step into comic books because
video
games is already an expensive
That's a whole other
hobby.
episode. Circling back to like video games themselves, I asked the host. I asked the homies like their top, for the sake of time, we'll do top 5 favorite video games of all time. And for me, obviously RuneScape #1. RuneScape's the best fucking MMORPG ever. Probably God of War 2018. Pokemon White 2. Fuck, I'm like cycling through everything. I'm just going to keep top 3, but feel free to answer from between 3 to 5 of your top 3 favorite video games.
If I had to pick top 3, I think number 3, well, not in any, like, just in any order, right? One would be Mother 3.
Another really good soundtrack.
Second would probably be Persona 5.
Banger soundtrack.
Yeah. And then for my last one, man, is that I've played so many over the years, right? Having to pick one out of everything is rough because there's games that made me cry, there's games that made me feel something, games that affected me as a person and who I am today.
Yeah.
So it's like trying to narrow it down from like those 3 conditions is rough. But for number 1, I guess I'll say the Mega Collection.
The Mega
Collection, because that's what started me off with like the whole Sonic stuff and just being exposed to like those classics at a young age.
Yeah,
made me really appreciate like old Chrono Trigger, Earthbound, Super Mario World. I got really into the N64 games, Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time, Mario 64.
Fucking Tears of the Kingdom probably would be up there for me. Sorry,
but it's it's hard. It's hard to narrow it down.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. I'm just like I said, I was cycling through like fucking
because like Nier could also take that top spot.
Nier, fucking Red Dead Redemption for me. The Spider-Man PS4, Soul Calibur 2. Oh, another
Tekken could also be up there. Like it's hard.
Mortal Kombat 9. I remember I played the fuck out of Mortal Kombat. But I really like what you said about like video games taking you back to like a more like peaceful and calming time. And Sonic was like the gateway to everything. Because Sonic for me, like back in like the early 2000s, if you didn't like fuck with Sonic, you were a weirdo.
Yeah.
Like everyone fucking liked Sonic. They pretended to be Sonic on the playground and
the whole, so there were 2 different types of people in elementary school. You had the people that ran with their hands back because of Naruto, and then you had people that ran with their hands back because of Sonic.
Yeah.
There's 2 different camps, I think.
Some pimp shit right there.
Yeah.
But I think you'll agree with me when I do genuinely think that video games are an art form.
Yeah.
Tying it to Art is Alive.
100% agree.
But yeah, I wanted to ask your thoughts on, just for the common man out there, how would you pitch to someone how are video games considered an art form?
Would you consider books to be an art form?
Yes.
Or sort of expression, right?
I would.
For me, video games are just that. They're books that you can take a part in. They're more interactive. Because what those video games ultimately do is just tell a really good story, but put you in the center of it and make it so you can be more immersed with it. Because you can read a book, and if you have a really active imagination, you can picture yourself in that situation of whatever character and whatever struggles they go through. Meanwhile, in video games, you firsthand witness and you can surround yourself in the world like, again, using Nier as an example, it takes place in like a dystopian Earth, right?
Yeah.
You look around you and you see collapsed buildings, dilapidated structures,
The foliage along
the foliage growing along, signifying passage of time. Like it's hard to get all that through words alone.
Yeah.
And then just also hearing the music and the sounds happening around you. Like sometimes you just disappear into that world.
Yeah. I remember in high school, RuneScape was like a big safety blanket almost.
Mhm.
Like, man, life sucks and this and that, but video games provided like a level of peace and comfort and
escapism.
Yeah.
Because I would argue, like, I used video games as an escape for a while because, school sucked. We have like bullies out there, and sometimes you just want to get away from it. And the best way to do that is to immerse yourself in something else,
Yeah. And I like how we all, like, everyone in the friend group just fucks with video games, and we're just able to like be ourselves. Like that's shit. Like even when I'm an old ass man, I'm gonna be like, yeah.
Those were the good old times.
Yeah.
Besides JoJo Fridays.
Fucking JoJo Friday. Jesus. Yeah, I'm reminded of a specific example of how video games have just moved me is the God of War series.
Mm-hmm.
Now, back in like the day in like 2005, 6, I had the demo for God of War, and you could only go up to like the first boss battle against the Hydra. And I was like, fuck, this game is so cool. Like, I love playing it. And I never had access to it, but I think I got it one Christmas, which I probably shouldn't have because for mature, boobies, intestines everywhere. And at the time I was just like, oh yeah, Kratos is so fucking like badass. He's a killer and all that and this and that. And when they rebooted the franchise
with 2018,
with 2018, it's like the series grew up with me, and I saw a wiser and more like reserved Kratos. And one thing recently that like I was actually like crying when I watched the cutscene is spoilers for anyone who haven't played God of War Ragnarok, the DLC for Valhalla.
Oh, yeah.
At the end of that, have you played it?
Go on.
Okay. At the end of it, Kratos is like going through like a journey of his his past sins and all that, and he like goes through a door and he's talking to his past self, the fucking badass killer that fucks bitches, and like that Kratos was evil. That Kratos was flawed. He was a demon. People called him a monster. And then the newer, wiser Kratos looks at him and he's like, you are cruel and selfish and unkind, but you are more than that. And he's like being so fucking like genuine, and he's like, am I this same man to sit on this throne and take and proclaim and place myself in service and all that? And then he sits there and he's like, place myself in service. And he's like, maybe I could be in like service to others type shit. And it was just genuinely like moving to see and like to relate to the character that I've struggled with, like looking at my past self and being like, you're like, the shit you did was like unforgivable as fuck, bro. But also looking in the mirror and being like, you are more than that. And to see that and to hear the music and like look at that Kratos and the new Kratos, it was just fucking crazy. It was such a explosion of emotion for me, and it was like a full circle moment of personally my character journey.
A game that tackles that topic that I know you haven't played, but is one of my favorites. Persona 4 has like this whole theme of like, facing your true self, which in the game it's supposed to symbolize like the person's like innermost desires and like who they are like deep within, because like there's this one character who you start off with, Yosuke, and he's the first person to join your party. But he just got rejected from this girl, and when they go in and try to rescue her, he's faced with like a shadow version of himself, which happens to be an amalgamation of everything, like
his
hidden
mistakes and all that. Okay,
not his mistakes, but like his hidden most desires.
Okay.
And like for example, he was an outcast who moved in from the city, and he moved into Inaba, which is like the outskirts, like the boonies essentially. And in there, he would never outwardly exclaim that, the countryside sucks, it's boring, nothing really cool ever happens here. The best place here is like the supermarket. That's boring as hell. He would never say those things out loud, but his shadow version himself would. And the fact that, oh, we can go into TVs now, life finally got interesting, and kind of ignoring the fact that he is the sum of his location. Oh, I don't even know where I'm going with this.
No, you're good. But a manifestation of a manifestation of his darker desires and all that, and just like confronting your past self
or your true self. Like, everything you've probably ever thought, like those
intrusive thoughts.
Those intrusive thoughts that you would normally have, that you would like disregard, and like, I'm sure there are people that have some sort of impulse to follow those intrusive thoughts.
Yeah.
But it goes on to like justify those intrusive thoughts as just that, intrusive thoughts. Like, you can have intrusive thoughts without acting on them, and it's normal because everyone has it.
Yeah.
But it really helps those characters grow in a sense, because you're coming face to face with the person who deep inside you is by all means also you. So by accepting those as what they are, you can grow as a person.
That's dope as shit. I gotta fucking play Persona.
It's fun. It's a good time.
Is it like a Telltale game, or is it like Phoenix Wright, where it's like you?
No.
Okay.
I mean, there's a lot of text you read. It's an RPG, so like there's grinding, there's stats and shit. But there's also like side conflicts that happens with those characters that you like go through. Like they call them social links, and you basically hang out with those characters, and those characters give you more understanding as to what makes them tick.
But Leo, I think I'm gonna wrap there. But no, I really appreciate you as a friend, and I'm just glad like you and your brother.
You said really sweet things in the beginning. I'm like, oh my god, this motherfucker's gonna make me
fuck
cry.
You.
Okay, there we go. There we go.
Fuck you. No, you guys are fucking dope. I'm gonna interview Alex in a moment. Oh, Alex! But no, I appreciate just your friendship and just always keeping the friend group together, because I know you guys are like our little hub.
Yeah, and then I really like being that hub for everyone, because I know like everyone has their own shit going on, and like we can't meet on daily like we used to. We can't have JoJo Fridays, but I mean, if we can get together once a month or like once every 2 months and just get the goofballs around,
get that little escapism.
Yeah.
Hell yeah! But I love you, doggy. Yeah. This has been another episode of Banana Art is Alive. You know the thing. Blah, blah, blah.